Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Gregory Sampson. I work for the International Trade Center. I'm doing this presentation from Geneva. I wish I was together with you in Kenya with the Asel team, Sam and his team, and also with the Long Miles Coffee team. Um, So as you know, Sam and his team have been doing a fantastic job collecting data from you all. And the reason why this data was collected was to comply with this future legislation, the EU deforestation regulation. Now, this data is not only sitting in mobile phones or computers or Excel spreadsheets, but it's available on the internet. And your data and information about your cooperatives is part of a platform called the Deforestation Free Trade Gateway, which is now live and which can be accessed by buyers such as Long Miles Coffee and their buyers as well. So now you have a presence on the internet. Your cooperative is featured as part of this portal, informing buyers that you have the data that is necessary in order to demonstrate your deforestation free status. So this platform, the Deforestation Free Trade Gateway, is available at a website, dftg.intracen.org. There are a number of tools which are made available on the platform. There's knowledge that can be shared. There's information about the benefits of being featured on such a platform as, let's say, a cooperative, where we really want to empower you uh, and digitalize some of your data. So that means, take some data which may be existing in Excel spreadsheets or in phones, but to really make it available on the internet and available and shareable to potential buyers. So what we have done with Asel is that data was collected, consolidated. Now we are showcasing your cooperative on the platform and the information is made available. So right now, if you go on the registry module, you can go to the website, click on registry, and you will see your cooperative. And your cooperative can be identified by selecting a country. So if I select Kenya, and I'm going to assume that I'm a buyer right now, I'm a buyer visiting the platform, I can actually see information about all of the cooperatives that are being featured right now. So I'm sure some of you in the room will be noticing, your co-op, which is being displayed on the screen right now. Now, the data about your cooperative is not freely accessible. Okay, it's not like a Facebook where we are including the data and any buyer can come and steal it. No, it's not like this. A buyer would come to the DFTG, and if they are to look at information from, let's say, which one am I going to take? Kikwetu Coffee. Okay. What they can do is that they can view a basic profile about your cooperative, and you can see the data source. So right now you will see that it's Asel that is being referenced, but we're going to change this as soon as you gain ownership about your profile, which is something I'm going to go into. It will change as the data source being your cooperative. And as a buyer, I can see that your co-op does coffee. There is a contact detail that's available on a website platform, and I can see a description about the cooperative. And I can see that there is one large plot of land which can be made available if I request information from the platform. And with the platform, I can request access to this information. So if I look at another cooperative, H0, FCS, I can see that there's little detail that has been included about the cooperative operation, but I can see that that cooperative has information on 1,286 polygons. And as a buyer, I can request access to this information. And when I request access to this information, the request goes directly to Chizero. So what we're going to do right now is actually see how you can gain access to this data, let's say as Chizero FCS, right? How can you as the cooperative change the information? Maybe you want to change the description, a bit like I showcased earlier, want to include a contact, an address, review the information that was collected by Asel, and also maybe run some deforestation risk analysis, and also monitor who is actually requesting access to your information so that you can be in touch with buyers. Now, Sam is going to be sending out emails if he hasn't done so already. I'm not in the same room as him, right? But as part of this email, you will receive a link. And if you click on the link, you will be prompted to register to the tool to have access to your own dedicated cooperative. So that's maybe something that can be done today. Sam, if you can help, our colleagues here in the room to actually complete their profile, this would be fantastic. But once you've done this step, you will be able to actually log in to the platform and see the information, let's say, as Chizero. And to do this, you'll click on the top right-hand side. You will include the information with your email account and password, and all of this is free, and it will remain free, okay? I just want to make this clear. So once you will log in into your account, you will have access to your dashboard where you will be able to manage producers, manage access to your data. Maybe some buyers have been making a request. So here you can see that one buyer has made such requests. You can actually then review the request, accept them. You could also set them to automatic approval so that any buyer that wants to have access to your data can actually access your information. That's very much up to you. But you will see here information about your cooperative. You will see that, yes, plots have been made available when it was last updated, and you can take a number of actions for your data. So the first thing that you can do is actually edit your profile. And to do this, you need to click on this pen icon. You can also perform deforestation risk analysis to review each and every one of your plots and see whether or not deforestation took place. You can manage the visibility of your profile within the registry, so you can decide whether or not it is visible or whether you want to hide it completely. You have option to download data. So this is data that is specific to your plots of land, your polygons, because buyers need to submit this information to the EU information system with their specific purchases and when they want to place products on the EU market. And this is the possibility to send an email to actually invite the cooperative to register. But this has already taken place. So the first thing that you can do is actually edit your profile. So to do so, you click on the pen icon and you will get to the following screen. And this is where you can change the name of your cooperative. Maybe we made a mistake. Kenya, you can put an ID number if there is. You can put an address, contact information. It'd be really nice to have also a little blurb about your operations, because as you may recall, this block is actually the data that a buyer would see and that is currently publicly available on the registry module. Then you have the information about your plots. And here there's information about over 1,000 plots, and you can review each and every one of the plots using this navigation, and you will see owners of the plot. You will also see additional information about the plots. Sorry, sometimes it seems that some names are showing up a bit weird. I'll fix that on my end. And then it's even possible to edit the information about the plots. And for each of the plots, you essentially have the name, which is the name of the producer, owner, farmer. And then there is additional information about the gender, number of coffee trees. This was all the data that was collected by the Asel team while on the ground, right? There is possibility also to add information about potential compliance to national legislation and regulations. You can also include certification obtained. Maybe some of you already comply to Rainforest Alliance, Fair Trade International. If that's the case, I invite you to add this information because this is really valuable for buyers. And then you also have the option to upload additional resources. Do you happen to have a flyer that you used during a fair or any additional information that could make your profile more attractive? I really encourage you to use this button to put the name of the document, maybe a slide description, and then upload the document. So this is the part on the editing and managing the profile. Now let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, now back on the dashboard, I can also perform the deforestation risk analysis. So if I click on this button, I will then have the system that will run deforestation risk analysis on the plots of land. And that's to assess whether or not deforestation took place after the cutoff date of 30th of December 2020. So if deforestation took place after that date, it's going to be picked up by the system. And this is something that buyers don't necessarily like, but it's something that you can work on. And to do this deforestation risk analysis, we can use 3 different systems. There's Open Forest WISP, which is not giving amazing information, to be honest, on those parcels of land. It often says more information needed. It doesn't mean that deforestation took place, but it cannot clearly determine whether or not deforestation took place. But usually it's a good sign. It's much better than having high. And you can see here that when it comes to coffee, you have to look at the column annual crops risk here. Perennial crops here, my mistake with coffee. And you can see already that some parcels are identified as low. You can also switch to another kind of visualization of the data, which is Global Forest Watch. And here you can review each and every one of your farmers' parcels of land, and which will be highlighted with a polygon, and then you can see whether or not it's being mapped with a red area, right? So here I'm browsing through the various producers, right? And I can run an analysis to see whether or not deforestation is being picked up on any of them. So far, so good. But this is an analysis that you can do, and it's really good to do this ahead of time because maybe a buyer could come back to you in the future and say, oh, but yeah, I'm not buying it from you because there is deforestation taking place on your plots. But you can actually say, no, which plots are you talking about? You know, I can assure you that there isn't. So you can walk through the various plots. And if deforestation is indeed picked up somewhere, then there can be mitigation steps that take place, and that I can let Sam talk to it. But here you're really in control of the information. You can also run an analysis with JRC, but it's not that interesting. But I really think Global Forest Watch would be the most important for you. So let's go back to the dashboard again. Okay, so back on the dashboard, now you can also, as I mentioned earlier, manage the privacy of your account, whether you want it to be visible on the registry or not. And then you have an option to download EUDR data. So this is where you can download a file and then supply it to a buyer with the information about all of the polygons. And to do this, you can anonymize the name of your farmers and just download this file. And this is essentially the file that each and every one of the buyers would require. So even outside this Dftg platform, if you download this file and you share it with buyers, that's all the information that they need. I'll stop my presentation here. I'll turn back to Sam and his team. Pity I couldn't be with you all. Greetings to Asel, Longmouth Coffee, to Palladium Group. I think you're also in the room. If there are any follow-ups, please don't hesitate to be in touch with me. But really the next steps is for you to receive that email from Sam, click on that link, create your account, get into your dashboard and edit your profile. And this is information that you can maintain through time.